What if the fastest way to improve your finances this year isn't a budget, a raise, or a side hustle, but a challenge? Something small, structured, and just uncomfortable enough to actually work. Because most people don't fail with money due to a lack of knowledge, they fail because they never turn their good intentions into action.
Welcome to your Money on Easy mode with Damien.
Welcome back to your Money on Easy mode. This episode is about turning your good intentions into actions. We're breaking down 10 money challenges that can jumpstart real financial progress. Whether you're trying to save your first emergency fund, finally get rid of high interest debt, or make retirement feel less abstract and more real. These aren't gimmicks or viral nonsense for clicks. Each challenge is rooted in behavioral psychology, real world results, and most of them work precisely because they feel manageable instead of overwhelming. We'll walk through the most powerful ones in depth, explain why they work, and show you how to adapt them to your life without burning out or feeling deprived. By the end, you won't just have ideas, you'll have a clear sense of which challenge fits your situation and how to use it to actually move the needle on your money. Starting off with challenge number 1, the no spend challenge. Imagine hitting pause on your spending life for just 30 days. Not on rent, groceries, or utilities, but on everything else. No eating out, no new clothes, no late night Amazon add to cart moments. That's the essence of the no spend challenge, and it's less about deprivation and more about reaching clarity. Here's why it works. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics' latest Consumer Expenditure Survey, the average American household spends roughly $300 a month on dining out and another $290 on entertainment. That's almost $600 a month on things that are nice but not necessary. At the same time, the Federal Reserve reports that about 1/3 of US adults can't cover a $400 emergency with cash. Those two facts side by side tell a pretty uncomfortable story. The money's often there, it's just leaking out quietly. So, a no spend month acts like a financial reset button. Instead of letting those dollars disappear, you redirect them into savings. For many people, that single month can fund a meaningful chunk of a starter emergency fund. And more importantly, it exposes how much of your spending is optional, not essential. The mental model at work here is called opportunity cost. Every dollar that you spend on a convenience or impulse buy is a dollar you can't use for security, freedom, or future options. The no spend challenge makes that trade-off visible in real time. You feel the choice instead of abstractly knowing that it exists. This isn't about becoming a financial monk. If a full month sounds intimidating, scale it. Try a no restaurant January or a no clothes February. Turn it into a game. Track your progress. Even plan a small intentional reward at the end that doesn't undo all the gains. The real win isn't just the savings you stack up in those 30 days, it's the awareness that you carry forward. After a no spend challenge, many people report their new normal includes fewer impulse buys and more intentional decisions. You start to recognize spending triggers before they even happen. The takeaway is simple but powerful. You don't need to earn more money to make progress. Sometimes you just need to stop the leaks long enough to see what's already possible. Money challenge number 2, the 52-week savings challenge. You're not bad at saving money, you're just starting too big. The 52-week savings challenge sounds almost too simple to matter, which is exactly why it works. In week 1, you save just $1. In week 2, $2. Week 3, $3. You keep going until week 52, when you save $52. By the end of the year, you've quietly stacked $1,378 without ever feeling like you took a financial punch to the gut. What makes this challenge powerful isn't the math, it's the psychology. Most people struggle with saving because they try to go from zero to hero overnight. I'm going to save $500 a month starting now. That usually lasts about one paycheck. The 52-week challenge flips the script. It starts so small that your brain barely even notices. Saving $1 or $5 doesn't trigger stress, sacrifice, or resistance. It feels harmless. That matters because, according to the Federal Reserve's most recent survey of household economics, roughly 1/3 of US adults still say they would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense. At the same time, data from the US Bureau of Economic Analysis shows the personal savings rate in the US has hovered around 4 to 5% recently, which is really bad. In other words, many people know they should save, but the habit just hasn't stuck. The 52-week challenge works because it uses the mental model of compounding habits. Just like money compounds over time, behaviors do too. Saving $1 doesn't change your life. Saving every week consistently does. Each small win reinforces the identity shift from I'm bad at saving to I'm someone who saves. By the time you hit weeks where you're setting aside $30 or $40, your budget has already adjusted. You've likely cut a few low-value expenses without even trying. There are flexible ways to do this too. If tracking weekly amounts sounds annoying, you can automate it by saving about $26.50 each week and end up in the same place. Some people even reverse the challenge, saving $52 in week 1 while motivation is high, then easing off as the year goes on. The format matters less than consistency. The real payoff isn't the $1,378, although that's a solid starter emergency fund. The real win is proof. Proof that small steps add up. Proof that you don't need discipline first, you build it along the way. And once you internalize that lesson, saving stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling inevitable. Challenge number 3, the 100 envelope challenge. This savings challenge looks like a kid's game, but somehow it helps people save over $5,000, which is exactly why it's become so viral. Here's the 100 envelope challenge. You take 100 envelopes, label them from 1 to 100, and each day you randomly draw one. Whatever number you pull, that's how much money you save. Some days it's $5, other days it's $89. Do this until all the envelopes are filled and you end up with $5,050 in savings. At first glance, that number sounds intimidating, but the magic of this challenge isn't the total, it's the randomness. You're not committing to saving a certain amount every day. You're committing to playing a game. And games are sticky. This matters because savings is still a major struggle for many people. Data tracked by Bloomberg shows that even as wages have risen, many households still report feeling financially stretched, largely due to inconsistent saving habits rather than income alone. In other words, the problem isn't always how much people earn, it's how consistently they save. The 100 envelope challenge works because it taps into a powerful mental model, variable rewards. This is the same psychological mechanism that keeps people engaged with games and apps. You don't know what you'll get today, so you stay curious and motivated. Pulling envelope number 7 feels easy. Pulling envelope number 92 feels bold. But both feel like progress. And because you can physically see the envelopes filling up, your brain gets constant feedback that you're winning. Of course, this challenge isn't a one-size-fits-all. If saving $5,050 feels unrealistic, you can scale it. Use 50 envelopes instead of 100 and aim for $1,275. Or cap the envelopes at a lower number. The framework stays the same. Randomness plus visibility equals momentum. And for safety, most people deposit the cash into a bank periodically so it earns interest and doesn't just sit at home. The biggest outcome of the 100 envelope challenge isn't just the pile of cash at the end, it's confidence. By the time you finish, you've proven to yourself that you can handle uneven savings demands and still follow through. That belief often carries forward into other goals, like building an emergency fund or investing. Saving doesn't always have to feel disciplined and serious. Sometimes the fastest way to make progress is to turn money into a game that you actually want to play. Quick question. If someone handed you $10,000 right now, would you know exactly what to do with it? Honestly, most people don't. And that uncertainty, well, that can cost you big time. So that's why I created something free just for you. Yes, Free. And that is my Easy Mode Money Ladder. The Easy Mode Money Ladder is a simple step-by-step guide to help you figure out exactly what to do with your money and when. This is not a boring budget worksheet. This is a no fluff guide that tells you exactly when to build your emergency fund, how much to put in it, the best way to crush your debt, and the steps you need to take, which aren't that complicated, to start growing real long-term wealth. All of this one simple step at a time. No matter where you are in your money journey, this guide is for you. It will help you plan your next money move with confidence. And did I mention that it's free? Yep, totally free and will always be free. If you want this guide, and I think you should, then go to my show notes and click on the link to my Stan store. That's simply my internet storefront where I give away this guide for free. Download it, follow it, and let's put your money on easy mode. Now, back to the show. Challenge number 4, the Crush Your Debt Challenge. High interest debt is sneaky. It doesn't just sit there, it grows. Quietly, relentlessly, every single month. This money challenge is all about going on the offensive. Instead of slowly chipping away at minimum payments, you pick a specific debt and commit to eliminating it fast. 6 months, 12 months, whatever is bold but realistic. The goal is simple: race the interest and win. This matters because the numbers are ugly. According to the Federal Reserve, the average US credit card interest rate recently crossed 20%, the highest level on record. Bloomberg has reported that many cardholders are carrying balances at rates north of 25%. At those levels, interest is destructive. Every dollar of balance left untouched is actively working against you, compounding in the wrong direction. This challenge flips that dynamic. Instead of interest compounding against you, your progress compounds for you. The mental model here is negative compounding. High interest debt behaves like a reverse investment. The longer it stays, the more it drains your future options. So when you aggressively attack the principal, you interrupt that cycle. You're not just paying down debt, you're reclaiming your future cash flow. The execution matters, but the structure is flexible. Some people prefer the debt snowball because early wins build motivation. Others choose the debt avalanche to minimize interest costs by targeting the highest rate first. Check out my previous episodes where I go into both of these in detail. The best method is the one that you'll stick with. Tracking progress visually helps too. Charts, thermometers, even sticky notes on the fridge turn these abstract numbers into something that you can see shrinking. The expected payoff goes far beyond interest savings. Yes, you save hundreds or thousands in avoided interest, but the real win is confidence. Once a major balance is gone, money decisions feel lighter. Cash flow opens up, future goals become easier to fund. So the takeaway is this: there is no investment with a guaranteed return like eliminating your high interest debt. When you crush it aggressively, you don't just hit a milestone, you permanently improve your financial future by removing a force that was quietly holding you back. Challenge number 5, the retirement savings boost. Your future self isn't asking you for a miracle, they're asking for 1%. Now, most people know they should save more for retirement, but few people actually do it. And it's not because they're careless, but because the gap between today and retirement feels abstract. This challenge closes that gap by making the future personal and actionable, starting with a move so small that you barely feel it. The Retirement Savings Boost Challenge has 2 versions, and both work for the same reason. They rely on compounding habits, not simply willpower. So let's start with the simplest version. If you have a 401k at work, increase your contribution by just 1%. That's it. For someone earning $60,000 a year, that's less than $12 a week in take-home pay. According to Fidelity's retirement analysis, for a 35-year-old, that single 1% increase can translate into roughly $100,000 or more in additional retirement savings over a career, thanks to decades of compounding growth. That matters because many people are behind. Bloomberg reports that the median retirement account balance for Americans in their late 30s and early 40s is still well under six figures, far below what's needed for long-term security. At the same time, the World Bank continues to warn that longer life expectancy means retirement savings must stretch even further than ever before. So small improvements today have outsized impacts tomorrow. The mental model here is compounding, but not just of money. It's compounding behavior. When savings come directly out of your paycheck, you adjust. You don't miss what you never see. After a month or two, the new contribution level feels normal. And once something starts feeling normal, it stops feeling hard. The second version of the challenge is more ambitious, the Roth IRA Max Out Challenge. For 2026, the IRS has set the IRA contribution limit at $7,500 for people under 50. That sounds large until you break it down. That's about $625 per month or $145 per week. When automated, it becomes a personal version of the 52-week challenge, except instead of cash sitting in a savings account, you're buying future freedom in your retirement. This approach leans into the pay yourself first framework. You treat your future self like a non-negotiable bill. And once again, automation can do the heavy lifting. People who automate retirement contributions are far more likely to stay consistent through market ups and downs because they remove emotion from the process. The real payoff of this challenge is momentum. When you prove to yourself that you can consistently invest in your future, other financial goals start to feel achievable too. You don't need a dramatic overhaul to change your financial trajectory. A 1% shift today can quietly reshape decades of outcomes. Your future self isn't asking for perfection, just consistency. Challenge number 6 is the subscription cleanse. You're probably paying for subscriptions that you forgot even exist, and they're quietly draining your bank account every month. Subscription services have quietly infiltrated every corner of our budgets, from streaming TV to monthly membership boxes to premium apps. This challenge asks you to audit all your subscriptions and unsubscribe from as many as possible for a set time, say 1 to 3 months. List out everything with a recurring charge, whether it's Netflix, Spotify, that meal kit you forgot to cancel, or an annual software fee. You might be surprised how many you have. Now, hit cancel or pause on anything non-essential all at once. A short-term subscription cleanse. Take the cash that you free up each month and redirect it to savings or debt instead. Your finances get an immediate boost from not having those charges deducted, and you'll learn which services you truly value. Maybe you discover you don't even miss half of them. After the challenge period, you can always resubscribe to any service that you genuinely miss, but now you'll do so intentionally. This challenge is great for a beginner because it's a one-time action with lasting effects. Not only can you save hundreds of dollars a year, $10 here, $20 there, across 5 to 10 services, but it also resets your mindset on recurring expenses. Going forward, you'll be more mindful about adding new subscriptions and more strategic about rotating your services. For example, just having one streaming service at a time rather than paying for many simultaneously. It's a quick win challenge that declutters your finances in much the same way a closet purge declutters your home. Challenge number 7 is the Pantry challenge. Your next meal plan is already in your fridge. You just haven't looked hard enough. The Pantry challenge is a 1-week or 1-month food challenge that helps you save money and reduce waste. The premise: no grocery shopping for the duration of the challenge. Instead, you commit to shopping your own pantry, freezer, fridge, and use up the food you already have on hand. Those cans in the back of the cupboard, the frozen leftovers, the dry goods that you bought months ago, they become your meal plan foundation. It's common to do this in January to recover from holiday spending and clear out stockpiled food, but it's useful anytime you notice your pantry is overflowing. By skipping the grocery store, an average family can save about $200 in a single week. For a month-long pantry challenge, the savings can be in the high hundreds, especially if it also means cutting some of your restaurant spending. Now, beyond the direct savings, this challenge tackles the broader issue of food waste. Many of us, me included, inadvertently waste money by letting food expire or languish unused. The Pantry Challenge forces you to get creative and use everything up. You might discover new recipes. There are websites and apps that generate recipes based on the ingredients you have, and it turns it into a bit of a cooking game. It's also decluttering your kitchen. So by the end, your shelves and freezer are cleared out of all that old stuff. Participants often report a mindset shift. After realizing how many meals they could make without shopping, they become more conscious shoppers going forward. They learn to plan meals around what's on hand and avoid impulse grocery buys. To try this, set aside a week where you plan simple meals from stored food. Maybe you allow a small fresh produce run if needed, but otherwise challenge yourself to make do. It can actually be fun and satisfying, and it instills gratitude for the food that you have. Some even donate the money they save to charity as a feel-good bonus. In sum, the Pantry Challenge is achievable, environmentally friendly, and can jumpstart your monthly savings with minimal sacrifice. Challenge number 8 is the Roundup Challenge. I know rounding up change sounds pointless, but this is how people accidentally save hundreds. This is a gentle, ongoing challenge, perfect for beginners. You commit to saving the spare change from every purchase that you make. In practical terms, every time you buy something, round up to the next dollar and set aside the difference. Buy a coffee for $3.75, round it to $4 and put 25 cents into a savings jar, or transfer 25 cents to a savings account. Grab groceries for $47.20. That's 80 cents into savings to make it an even 48 that you've effectively spent. It's a way to make every cent count towards your goals. Many banks and apps will do this automatically for you. For example, some debit cards will auto-round your purchases and sweep the change into your savings or investment account. This is a feature that was popularized by apps like Acorns, but you can also do it manually. Keep a change jar for physical cash, and for digital spending, tally the week's roundups and transfer that sum into savings. Here's why it works. It's relatively painless. You likely won't miss a few cents on each transaction, but over time, those do add up. It leverages the principle of out of sight, out of mind. You siphon off money as you spend it, so you're saving in the background. Over the course of months, you might accumulate a few $100s without feeling any pinch to your budget. This challenge also brings awareness. You start noticing prices to the cent and might even find yourself opting for cheaper items to save more change. While this approach won't make you rich overnight, it builds a steady cushion with virtually no pain. It's something anyone at any income can do. Rounding up is a cinch and generally doable across most income levels. At the end of the year, you could easily have $300 to $600 or more saved just from rounding up. And the Roundup Challenge is often the gateway to bigger savings efforts. Once you see how these minor tweaks can generate real money, you'll be motivated to take on larger challenges next time. Challenge number 9. I saved one of the weirdest ones towards the end. This is probably the weirdest savings idea that you're going to hear all year. But it actually works. Challenge number 9 is the weather-based savings. Let Mother Nature decide how much you save. The weather-based savings challenge ties your savings habit to the daily temperature. The common version is Temperature Tuesday or the Daily Challenge. Each day, check the high temperature in your city and then save that amount of money. So if today's high is 45 degrees Fahrenheit, you put $45 into savings. If tomorrow's high is 60 degrees, you save $60, and so on. You can tailor the frequency. Some do it weekly. They save the high temperature each Friday, for example, or just on a specific day like Weather Wednesdays. You can also decide whether to use Fahrenheit or Celsius. It's a creative way to gamify your savings using something you already pay attention to, which is the weather. Over a set period, say a month, your total saved will depend on the season and the climate. In mild weather, it might be manageable. In extreme heat, it can become very challenging, which is part of the fun. For instance, if you're in America, in July, you might have several 90-degree plus days in a row, really pushing you to budget extra savings. In winter, a streak of cold days might actually result in low required savings, so some people choose to double the deposit on very cold days to keep the momentum going. Now, if you live in a very warm climate where it's 100 degrees every day, you might do this challenge for a shorter span of time, like a week or a month, rather than all year. The key is flexibility. You can set a cap, maybe max $50 on any one day, or an average target to suit your budget. The outcome is a pot of savings that feels random but is driven by an external factor. Psychologically, it makes saving feel fresh and less monotonous. It ties saving to a task that you may already do daily, like checking the weather, thus integrating the challenge into your routine. Plus, it's a great one to involve kids with. They love checking the weather and seeing savings grow, turning financial responsibility into a family game. By the end of the challenge period, you'll likely have a few $100s saved, and maybe even a newfound appreciation for cold weather. Finally, challenge number 10, sell your stuff. If your house feels cluttered, there's probably money hiding in it. What if cleaning your house paid you back? This challenge tackles two birds with one stone. You clean up your living space and boost your bank account at the same time. The Sell Your Stuff challenge involves identifying items that you no longer need or use and committing to sell a set number of them within a given time frame. For example, challenge yourself to sell one unused item every week for 3 months, or aim to declutter at least 30 items in 30 days on resale platforms. Platforms like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, Craigslist, or local consignment apps will be your go-to tools. Not only will you generate extra cash, but you'll also experience the mental relief of decluttering. Studies have shown that a cluttered environment can negatively impact your mental health and even your decision-making. One study, cited in Psychology Today, found that clutter leads to poorer food choices and slower cognition. So by turning that clutter into cash, you're creating a win-win, a calmer, more organized home, and a fatter wallet. So here's how you do it. Start with an honest sweep of your closets, garage, or attic for anything you haven't used in the past year. They might be clothes that don't fit, old electronics, furniture, hobby gear, kid stuff, you name it. Trust me, you will be surprised what people buy. One person's dusty extra blender is another person's great find. Take clear photos, write a nice description, and list it. Setting a weekly goal, like one item per week, can make it a routine. Now, alternatively, a more intense version is the $1,000 declutter challenge, where you aim to make $1,000 total by selling things over a few months. This is a popular New Year's challenge in some frugal communities. If you follow through, you could easily make a few hundred to a few $1,000s, depending on what you have to sell. Many people make $50, $100, or even $500 during this challenge, all of which can go straight to debt payments or savings or investing. Plus, your home becomes more minimalist and easier to manage. Clearing it out and selling your unwanted stuff not only gives you some extra money, it helps you keep your home clean and organized, all while accelerating your financial progress. The psychological boost from simplifying your space is real. You might even find it addicting and continue well beyond the challenge. By the end, you'll have a cleaner home, clearer mind, and fuller pocket. Pretty great trifecta for a beginner-friendly challenge. We did it! 10 challenges. If you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. Progress doesn't require a personality transplant. It requires a system. Whether you pause the leaks with a no spend month, build momentum with the 52-week saving challenge, gamify your savings with the envelopes, or go on the offensive against your high interest debt, the common thread is turning vague goals into concrete rules that you can actually follow. The best money challenge isn't the most extreme one, it's the one you'll still be doing when the novelty wears off and life gets busy. And once you prove you can stick with a small challenge, the confidence compounds right along with your money. And that's the real easy mode win. More progress and a future that feels less stressful because you're finally moving in the right direction. So please pick one challenge from this list and commit to it for the next 7 days. Then comment down below and tell me which one you chose and what you're doing with the money you save, because your plan gets stronger the moment that you say it out loud. See ya.
Thanks for listening to Your Money on Easy Mode. If you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe and share it with a friend.